Now we are.
Where's Gull Menser's investigative resources located?
I thought we were
All
upgrading
over.
to the non-ad package. Oh wait, that's right. It's at ridiculous rates.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
like per day, I think. Oops, wrong music.
Oh man, that's my favorite.
Star Wars Legends of the Force, Episode 2, Chapter 13, Fleeting Time. Dell's latest vision revealed that our intrepid party of adventurers may only have one day left to prevent the rapidly approaching disaster. Their ability to investigate the strange happenings aboard the Trepidation was greatly hindered by the ship-wide lockdown enacted by Admiral Raelius at the insistence of Jedi Knight Jaina Ellis. But now that Kalani Starfire has reminded Jaina of the tenets of the Jedi Code, and Del Fearin has convinced the Admiral to trust their help, the party is free to move about the ship and investigate the strange happenings therein. Will our heroes be able to identify the source of the approaching threat and neutralize it before it can exact its toll?
No.
I think that depends on Jaina's mood.
Okay, so to recap, Kalani has been meditating with Jaina for basically the whole morning, and it's now about 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And John has been in the med bay trying to talk with about information about Emma and also learning how to play Pazak. And you guys all abandoned Dirk in the crew quarters, and he also started playing Pazak. And then the rest of you went to talk to the Admiral. And Del stayed behind and told him that Lexa was the one who broke into Jaina's quarters. And he also convinced the Admiral not to put Lexa in the brig, and he also convinced the Admiral that he should trust your help, and that Pakaz can go look at the engines. So, someone came to pick up Pakaz to take him down to the engine room. So we're actually going to start off with Kalani in Knight Ellis's quarters. So you guys have been... First you cleaned up all the debris and stuff from the shattered dark side artifact, and then you just sat down. Jaina just like knelt down on the ground on the floor and started meditating. And I think Kalani, you just sort of went along, right? You also were trying to like maybe search for some dark side presences on the ship, but you didn't really feel anything other than some strong negative emotions coming from the brig where that guy is who was punching Bo.
Was it for dark side? I wasn't really clear on what exactly it was defined as searching for. Dark side would make sense though.
Yeah.
Although in that case, my talent would go into effect, and I would be able to roll over again because that was fail.
Okay, do you want to re-roll?
First roll of the day.
Seriously.
And not good, Kalani.
She's getting them out of the way early. We're good. So when the fighting happens, we'll just destroy everyone.
And so it begins.
Okay, so you sit there meditating until Jaina's comlink like buzzes, then she puts her hand to her ear where she has like an earpiece in, and you just see her like sitting there for a little bit, and then she's just nodding. And then she says, "I understand." And then she stands up and says, "Well, Knight Starfire, it seems that your friends have been talking with the Admiral, and there's the possibility that some Sith is responsible for the power fluctuations in the core. So I'm going down there to investigate. Do you want to accompany me?"
Yes.
Okay, so she just starts walking quickly out
And
of
I
the
will
door.
follow.
Okay. So you follow her down to the engineering deck. And you also, it's about the same time when Pakaz is escorted there.
I can't see anything. There we go.
I see blackness.
Okay, so Pakaz, yeah, the soldier escorts you down there as well. And as you arrive, you see Jaina and Kalani walking up. And then Jaina says to you, Pakaz, "Ah, Pakaz! I believe that you told the Admiral that there may be some force powers at work for the disruption of the reactor."
I don't know, it's possible. I've done it before.
Well, the three of us are going to investigate this possibility. Okay, so she just like walks over to like the middle of the room. And she like looks behind you like she's expecting you to follow her.
I follow her.
So you notice off in the corner, standing by like one of the councils, you guys all see Emma, and there's also another man standing over there. And he looks over when he sees you walking in, and then he walks over there. And he says, "What's going on?" And Jaina says, "We're here to investigate the possibility that Darksiders are affecting the power core." And he says, "Affirmative." Then he walks away. So do you guys want to use the force checks? Okay. Yeah, Pakaz, you get the same sort of weird sense that you got earlier about some sort of weird dark side, like residual aura that's sort of around you and Kalani. But Jaina doesn't seem to sense that, and you don't sense anything else strange.
Can I get anything specific about the aura? Does it appear to be going away?
No, it seems about the same as the last time you felt it. So Jaina turns to you, both of you. Anything to report?
The guy stiffly shakes his head.
Hang on, did I sense anything? What the-
No. Then Jaina says, "Okay, then on to the next room." And she starts walking down this hallway over here.
And I'll follow.
And I as well. You might as well just move us as a group.
Okay, so the first room you were in was sort of like the antechamber, like entrance to the engineering room. So were just like a bunch of terminals in there that were like diagnostics and things. This is a much larger room where it actually has like very large like things that are functioning as the power core like reactors, and also you notice like different power like generation for the engines. Okay, do you guys want to use the force again? For your sensing the dark side talent, Kalani, is that just that you get to reroll every time? Or how's that work? If you're specifically looking for Sith here, is it like a limited number of times per day?
Don't think there's a limit. Just have to take the second roll.
Okay. Yeah, because that still seems to be the only thing that you can sense, and Kalani, you don't sense anything. Okay, so Jane is going to continue moving around, looking at you guys, and expecting that you're all, like, keeping your awareness out for dark side force users. So we're going to cut over to John in the med bay. Is there anything that you want to be doing, John?
Yeah. I'm gonna drop my cards on the table and say, well, I don't know if I have the talent for this game. I don't know how many hands in a row that is I've lost, but I'm gonna take a break. I gotta go talk to the doc and make a phone call. You all right here?
Yeah, I think I'm good. Thanks for playing.
You bet.
And you can see, because it's been like multiple hours, you can see that like over the whole course of the time he's in like noticeably less pain than he was earlier.
Okay. I want to go over to the doctor's still here, right? I can see his little token in the robot. Okay, I want to approach the doc and say, hey doc, you got a second?
He looks up from his data pad and he says, "Sure, John, what is it?"
I don't remember if you've heard any of the particulars about Delphern, the Keldor in our group, and his force visions that he has.
Force visions? I don't believe I have.
Yeah, that's the impetus of this whole adventure that we're on. That's what led us to that asteroid to destroy that artifact. And well, now he's having visions that something bad's going to happen on the ship sometime soon here. Well, he shared the vision with the rest of us, and there was a detail that kind of stuck out to me. There was kind of a green smoke in the air. And I don't know if it was some kind of component of just mysterious force visiony dream quality, or if it was because there was some kind of noxious gas in the air. But I was wondering, it occurred to me again when I was reading through these medical texts you gave me when I got to the section about nerve agents, and it says that they're commonly treated with Biperdin or atropine. Do you have either of those on board the ship in any quantity?
Well, that must explain the reason for the memo that the Admiral just sent out advising all crew to start wearing gas masks. But yes, I do believe that we have some counter nerve agents. I can send IL-33 to look for some. I don't think we have any here, but we might in some of our supply bays.
Well, like I said, I don't know how accurate this is, or how much these force visions can be counted on. I think they're relatively dependable, and again, I don't know if there's going to be any nerve agents for certain, but it might be advisable to be prepared just in case.
Then IL-33, before he goes off, IL-33 looks at you and says, "The odds of damage to the ship causing thick green smoke to appear in any room aboard the ship are approximately 1 in 20 million. Therefore, it is likely that if there is green smoke, it's probably not from something aboard the ship." Then he walks away.
That's real good to hear, Robot. Like I said, you're the doc. I just thought I'd bring it up.
Well, I guess it would be best to be prepared. Unfortunately, there are far too many things in the galaxy that are green and gases, so it's impossible to determine what it may be. And it sounds like the vision was very vague.
Okay then. And I walk away from the dock and I kind of go stand off in a corner of the room by myself, and I key my communicator for the rest of the group, and I say, "This is John checking in. I'm still in the med bay. Haven't been able to find out anything useful. What's going on?" To everybody.
Yeah, Picasso is down checking the engine room. I've gotten us free roaming around the ship. We're still in lockdown because with the threats of the what I saw in the visions, but we're free to help. I was thinking about taking Lex and Alon with me to go search around the ship for anything suspicious if you wanted to join us.
Join you where?
Do you just want to meet us in the hallway? How'd it work?
Outside the infirmary?
Yeah.
I'll be here.
All right. Hey, Picasso, have you found anything yet?
Over the comms, I imagine?
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Is the reply you get back.
Kalani, what's the status with Jaina?
We're checking the engine room.
I'll see with Picasso.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll kind of start working on looking around the rest of the ship.
Okay, and as you finish up that conversation, you hear a knock on the outer wall or curtain area of your quarters.
Hey, come in.
And Lieutenant Arvis walks in. And he says, "Oh, you also notice that he's wearing a gas mask. And he says, well, the Admiral said that you guys may be able to help us avert some sort of disaster. So I'm here to help you in whatever way you need to look about the ship to identify the threat.
I'm not exactly sure where to start. It's a big ship.
Well, if you were an assassin, where would you start? And I think we'll have our answer.
I try and cripple communications and transportation first, which is what my wife Akaz and Kalani are over in the engine room right now. Other than that, probably getting away for another boarding party to come on board if that's their plan. If that's not their plan, then obviously that securing a hangar wouldn't be a priority.
Are there any airlocks that are minor, perhaps not accessible for a large ship, but maybe a small one or a single person?
Well, we do have 2 maintenance hatches, but they don't have docking rings or anything. But they're just used to get outside the ship for external repairs if necessary. Other than that, there's just the hangar bay.
Well, if I was going to infiltrate a place, I'd look for the smallest entrance possible that would be quickly overlooked. I think we should start there.
I'd agree with you, Lass. That's probably the best place to start, at least to start looking.
Okay, so all 3 of you want to follow Lieutenant Arvis to the nearest maintenance hatch?
Wait, no, hold on a sec. Ayla, do you want to actually like pour over maybe some security footage to see if you notice anything? 'Cause you've worked in security before, right?
I can definitely try.
I think while we go check out the airlocks, you should do that. See if there's anything anybody missed. Not that I'm saying your men are incompetent, Lieutenant, but extra eyes never heard anything.
Well, I'm certain with all of your exploits, your eyes would be appreciated.
Alright, yeah, can we swing by the med bay? We gotta pick up John.
Sure.
Then John should go with Aelin. I don't think any of us should be on our own.
Yeah, you're right. That's probably a good idea.
And then the lieutenant also pulls out extra gas masks. And he hands them to you guys. Well, he doesn't
question.
give one to Dell.
Yeah, my mask filters things. That's what we say. But anyway, speaking of which, where is Dirk?
I was just about to say, perhaps he should join you as well, Aelin. He's a bit of an exploit for anyone trying to work against us, if you know what I mean.
Well, and I think he's fairly familiar with computer systems, so he might be able to give you a hand.
Yeah, I'll swing by and pick him up.
Thanks for babysitting.
Ah, sure, no problem.
The lieutenant looks at you guys sort of strangely. He just asks, he's like, so Dirk isn't like a normal part of your team?
He kind of got caught up in the mess on Ventuine, and we had to take him with us. Otherwise, the Sith probably would have gone after him. But he's an insurance salesman.
Ah, I see.
So he's not exactly used to combat.
But if we all die, please see to him for our belongings. Alexa stands there awkwardly trying to make it like she was trying to make a joke.
The lieutenant just stares at you.
Alright, let's get going.
Okay, so he walks to the door and waits for Aelin to go get Dirk. So Aelin, do you see? Because remember, you guys all saw Dirk playing Pazak last time. You walked out, so he's still in the same spot. You see that there's like empty like ration things around, so they've all like eaten lunch too while they've been playing.
And he made us a ton of money, right?
Well, he made him a ton of money.
That would probably be more accurate.
Nope, it's a collective. Because he's an NPC. Direct deposit into the party fund.
Right, whatever's Lydia's is yours. So, you know.
She's sworn to carry our burdens.
Dirk is one step away from being that.
In that case, we stay away from giant camps. Possibly, we might want to get near them if we want to take care of them. Well, hello there, Dirk. Holding up pretty good?
Oh, hey, Elond. Yeah, I've been having some fun playing Pazak here.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Do you want to go help out with some of the security footage? Give me an extra pair of eyes to kind of scan through them.
You see that he looks excited by that. He said, "Oh, sure."
All right, let's go.
So he takes his leave and apologizes to everyone for having to leave.
And they're probably like, finally, he's gone. We can actually have our money back.
I was gonna say, does he not settle up first, or did he just walk away from the table?
He just walks away.
Nice.
So he probably broke even.
Okay, so you guys all walk down to the med bay and meet up with John, who's waiting outside. And then Jason says, "Well, if you want to look at the security footage, I guess you could just go into the security station right over there, which is across the hall. It's just south of you."
Thank you, lad. I believe we'll do just that.
We'll keep you posted. Just let us know if you see anything. We should go anywhere else on the ship.
Oh, will do. I'll keep you posted as to what we find.
Okay, so the security officer that you saw the other day with Jaina comes over and says, "Can I help you?"
Yes, we're here to help you look through some of the security logs, see if we can't find anything that might be helpful and whatnot.
Oh, Lieutenant Arvis also gave everyone else a gas mask, and everyone in here is also wearing a gas mask. He says, "Okay, well, I can set you up with one of our auxiliary terminals to take a look through all the footage." And he walks you over to the corner and puts in his credentials and pulls up access to all the security footage. You see, he started the access with the logs that were correspond to the time when they picked you up from the asteroid, up until the past logs.
All right.
Just let me know if you need anything. And he walks away.
All right, will do, laddie.
So what are we looking for?
Pretty much anything that would look Sithy, I guess is what you would call it. But anything suspicious or in particular, seeing if we can't find any hints of an assassin, shall we say.
Who gave me the gas mask? Was it Arvis or just some other?
Yeah, it was Arvis.
Okay. I pull up a stool or a seat at one of the monitors and start scanning through vid feeds.
Yeah.
Do I need to make a roll or anything?
Yeah, you guys can make a perception or use computer check.
Perception plus 11 or computer plus 12.
Okay, so you guys all settle down to look at the logs.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if it's been more than a day since I used NAC.
I think you used it at the beginning of the last session.
Yeah, which would put it
Yeah, that was this
within
morning.
the same day. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so Lieutenant Arvis escorts Lexa and Dell to the nearest maintenance access patch. So it's basically just in like a narrow hallway. There's a like a small airlock. So it takes you into the airlock. There's like barely enough room for the three of you here, and you can see there's like a very small viewport attached to the door, and you can see the outside of the ship. This is the ship, the side of the ship that's facing into space, so you just see space.
Okay. I had a question. Given my background as a bounty hunter, it would be reasonable to say that I know how to track people. I know how to look for people that don't want to be found, how I would go about stalking someone, right?
Yeah.
So I was wondering if I could, as we're walking, if I could use my tactics knowledge to maybe see if there's something out of the ordinary on our way there, something that I, could make a note of or would strike me as, that would be a good way to get in or to track someone or something along those lines.
Sure. Do you have knowledge tactics?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's
Okay.
the one of the two I'm specialized in.
Were you rolling technology or tactics?
I was gonna. I swear I didn't do that on purpose. It was supposed to be tactics.
And rolls a nat 20 on the tactics roll.
I
Suspicious.
know how it looks, but my brother walked in right as I pressed the button. I'm so sorry.
Well, what are your bonuses? Are they the same for both of them?
No. I'm a miss of 11. This one is a 6.
Okay, so you got like a 14? Or are we doing the house roll re-roll thing?
That's your call, GM. I mean,
You're the
I'm gonna
GM.
answer.
Okay, we'll just add the bonus in, because that's what we did last time. Okay, so you got a 14.
I thought
So
we
you-
re-rolled last time. I'm confused now.
No, we didn't re-roll.
Plus, the GM doesn't want to give a nat 20.
Would ruin all his diabolical plans.
Okay,
So
so
now I want to roll just to see what would happen, not to change anything. But because everyone
No,
says
don't
it's
do
gonna
it,
be
because
a
then we'll
20.
be sad. Don't do it,
yeah,
we'll be sad.
what
Just
if you
don't do
waste
it.
a nat 20?
Yeah, don't do it. Don't waste
Uh,
it. Save the dice rolls for later.
Okay, so yeah, so you notice as you guys are navigating the hallways, you definitely notice that there seems to be like above average like activity in like all the hallways. Like there are basically like patrols, like 3-man patrols of guards like walking constantly down all the hallways. So it looks to you like it'd probably be pretty difficult right now for someone to like sneak around anywhere.
Okay. As we're walking, I'm just gonna whisper.
I'll also say that there are only like 3 turbo lifts on the ship, so like they lead to like all the floors. So like in terms of like a tactical like movement perspective, like the turbo lifts are definitely like a choke point on the ship because like to move between floors, like you pretty much like there's only like one option on most floors of like where the turbo lift is.
Okay. Sorry, writing all that down. Okay, so I kind of want to stay like just a few paces back from the lieutenant so I can whisper to Del without him hearing me. And I tell him about the turbolifts. I say, we definitely need to keep our eye on those. Those could be a checkpoint at some point. A checkpoint that we can use. Also, there seems to be a lot of activity right now. I think whoever it is likely going to just be hiding until we calm down a bit. So, really what we need to be looking for are hiding places. But don't let that on. The atmosphere of and the mood of the people around us are going to be the tell for our assassin.
Yeah, I mean, we're assuming it's a single assassin as well, but
It can't be more than a dozen. I mean, there's not, with a ship this full, how many hiding places can there be? And with all this activity, you'd think we'd find 1 or 2 at this point.
I mean, they could be, there could just be 1 on board at the moment, but he could just be an infiltrator, not necessarily an assassin, designed to, transmit the location, get a boarding party going.
True. Just let me know if you feel anything funny. There's just a lot going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what do you guys do? Like, Lieutenant's just like sitting there waiting to guide you around or help you investigate and whatnot.
So are we at the maintenance access now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Del, how good is your perception? Because mine sucks.
It's not great. It's not terrible.
I have a 7.
Couldn't you like make a mechanics check to see if it's been, or like a computer check to see if it's been tampered with or anything?
That's what I was thinking, is I could do mechanics and you could do perception.
Yeah, it works for me. We're killing it.
Yay!
Yeah, so
Go team
Lexa, you
mediocre.
can tell that that the mechanics access hatch doesn't look like it's been used in quite a while. And Del, you can see the ship corridor and stuff.
So observant. I'm awesome.
Okay. Can I, like, kind of just feel around for, like, I don't know, dust, dirt, rust, what would be on a ship that's on a door that's been sealed for a while, just to kind of confirm that it hasn't been open?
Yeah, you can roll perception.
Yep. No, it's been here in, like, ever. They were good.
So Lieutenant says, okay, where to next? The other access hatch?
Yeah, we'll check that next, I guess.
Okay, so he starts walking. You guys there. And now we will return to the engine room. Well, actually, yeah, we finished sweeping the engine room and are now in the adjoining room, which is the power for the shield generator. So you guys can make 3 rolls worth of force using senses.
What?
So, like, in the time that's elapsed while everyone's been doing stuff, you guys have just been searching the rooms. So to accumulate for that, you can make 3 different checks.
Have you rolled anything higher than a 15 or a 30?
I've gotten into 30s.
Yeah, she's rolled like
Yeah.
31 twice.
She just jumps from a natural 1 to somewhere in the 30s.
At least
Better
it's not a
natural
natural 1.
See, now you're just teasing, going right below the 30.
You have the reroll ability, right?
Yeah. Can I use that? And how does that?
And if you're looking for dark side stuff.
My dice don't like me.
We all know Kalani's connection looks is tenuous.
Yeah, but this is one of the things she's supposed to be actually good at.
I thought it was sword fighting.
I mean, force things.
Hey, at least you can whack things.
Okay, so yeah, you guys continue slowly walking around the perimeter of all the rooms, and there are people there monitoring the terminals, and also like there's like a lot of people with diagnostic equipment trying to like look at what exactly is wrong. In the shield room, it's not so much because there haven't been any problems with the shield. It looks like everything is pretty normal in here. But you guys continue walking around, and yeah, you don't sense any dark side. So as you conclude in here, Jaina says, "Well, I guess we can conclude that the power drain on the reactor is not due to a force user."
Probably.
Nevertheless, I think I will remain here. We should check with Emma to see if any power fluctuations have occurred while we've been searching. And she starts walking back towards the main room.
I'll follow.
Kaz is going to make sure he walks up right beside Emma. In as normal of a way as possible.
Okay, so when you guys go into the other room, you see that instead of in the first room where you encountered her, Emma's now in like the main reactor engine room, and she's like working with some like handheld equipment, like measuring one of like the power conduits that's leading into the reactor. and her one of her assistants is standing by her. So Jaina walks up and says, "Have there been any power fluctuations in the time that we've been here?" And Emma looks down at her data pad. And then she says, "Well, there was one about 30 minutes ago." Then Jaina says, "Well, I guess it can't be due to the Force then, because we would have felt it." And she looks at you two for support in her conclusion.
It would seem then.
Because nods.
But then what?
More mundane means of sabotage. Or the visions have nothing to do with the fluctuations. But I have no idea how suspicious they are. I haven't seen any of the information. Or looked at the systems. Or worked with the systems.
And was there a question? Who were you talking to? Sorry, I was distracted. Does that require a response by one of the characters?
I was just responding to the whole thing about it not being about the Force.
Okay.
It basically just said it's probably just something more mundane. As far as sabotage goes, if it's even sabotage.
Well, Emma looks at you and says, "Well, the Admiral was telling me that you claim to have some expertise in these matters. If it is just a regular mechanics problem, that would still be your area of expertise, would it not?"
Because nods. I've worked on large ships before.
Well, would you like to take a look at our readings?
He nods and walks up next to her.
She hands you a data pad.
And also, since I'm basically adjacent to her, mind read. And while I'm doing that, I'm looking at the data pad.
Oh no!
It's how the mind reads always go.
It's so funny that Bakaz is really good at doing certain things, but not by reading people's minds. Other
Oh,
people's
don't
minds
worry.
are just far too foreign to him. Bakaz's mind is just unlike anyone else's mind. It's very hard for him to understand what people are thinking.
I really
Also,
need
Tyler,
to get
don't
to level
forget.
12, like, ASAP.
The power specifies that no one will know anything about what I am doing. Or at least the target won't.
Even on a 1?
Yeah. Well, the target won't, but I think you can. I'm gonna say you have to make an opposed use the force check to see if other force users can detect that you're using the force.
Well, at least I rolled passively on that.
Just
She'll
Kalani
make the
one, try to
line
work.
roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys just see Bakaz looking at the data pad, and Jaina sort of looks curiously over your shoulder. Bakaz. Well, I guess
How
more
much
like
do
over
I
your head,
know
not really
about-
over your shoulder.
How much do I know about the suspicions surrounding Emma? I'm trying to remember.
But you've seen the vision.
Yeah, you were there for most of all the conversations.
Yeah, because remember, Kalani, we had that big discussion before we went off in our splits. So you
Yeah, but I know there's weirdness going on, but do I know that we suspect her of?
Yeah.
being-
That was all that stuff was
Eh.
discussed in the big conversation.
Okay.
Okay,
Can I
so I'm
do
gonna make the
anything?
mechanics roll.
Perception, or sense dark side directly on her? Then
Sure. Whichever one you want. Okay, Paka, so that check is looking exactly what? You're trying to look at?
Looking over the data on the data pad, just like my initial inspection.
Of like the historical readouts and stuff? Or
Yeah.
like the current status of the reactor?
Like both. And if I can make separate rolls for
Yeah,
both
that'd
of
be
them, then I
separate
will.
rolls. Okay. Also, can you make an intelligence check?
Okay.
Yeah, so from what you can see, like you can see in the logs, like a record of the fact that like various systems around the ship have been like getting power spikes that's been like short-circuiting them like temporarily, and things like you can see like various things, like even like the life support, shields, like long-range sensors, like internal sensors, like all
I
the
want to
different
note
systems of
down
the
the
ship.
times when these things happen.
Okay, you can do that. Yeah, but you can also see from like looking over the status of the reactor that the reactor, like, there's like you don't see anything physically wrong with the reactor. And Kalani, you don't sense any sort of dark side from her. You just sense that she's very concerned, presumably
Well, I
about the
can't
reactor.
see anything specific on a cursory glance, but if I take some time and pore over it, maybe I'll find something.
Okay, Emma says, "What's strange is that all of our diagnostics can find nothing wrong with the reactor, yet there seem to be intermittent power spikes of the various systems. It's quite strange, unless somehow the power couplings are affected." Sorry, that
Spikes as
wasn't
in
my
sudden
normal
power
voice. That was not a
increases?
good voice. What?
As in sudden power increases, is there an increased power draw to the systems that this are drawing from the reactors? Or is that reactor just outputting too much to certain systems?
That's what it appears, although it only lasts for a matter of seconds. So it's difficult to determine exactly what is the cause. Okay, Jaina just like goes over to the center of this room, like sort of like walking carefully past all the different technicians, and finds like a clear spot in like an intersection of where there are two walkways, and she just like kneels down there and starts meditating in the middle of the room.
So,
So-
you say that there's something wrong, but the diagnostics don't show anything. Could there be something wrong with the diagnostics?
Well, we have multiple independent handheld diagnostic units.
Well, it couldn't hurt to examine one or two of them to see if somehow they've all been tampered with. Unlikely, but
Okay,
shouldn't take long to take a look at one or two.
She holds out the one that she's holding in her hand.
Kaz will look it over then.
Okay, roll mechanics. It appears to be in fine working order.
I say as much.
The man standing next to Emma says, "Thank you. I just checked on these this morning."
And then I'm gonna con Ayland and tell him I'm gonna send him a list of times and locations, and then send him like the information that I jotted down about where it was getting power spikes and stuff.
Thank you, lad. I'll see what I can do with this.
Yeah, just in case so you can check the security footage. And then he's gonna out of character, what's her name again?
Emma.
So he's gonna tell Emma that he's gonna take some time looking over the data.
She nods and says, "Let me know if you find anything."
And I'm gonna take 20.
And I guess by now I'm gonna head over to Jaina and join her.
Okay.
So, Picard, you haven't found anything?
Nope.
Okay, so
At least no explanation.
yeah, the power fluctuation started occurring like 14 hours ago. So to look through all the logs for all the systems with it taking 20, it's probably, I'd say it's gonna take you 4 hours.
Okay, and I make sure that they know when it when the Alon knows when the fluctuation started as well.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a good time to look through all the camera entries at. But yeah, I'll just take the 4 hours and take 20.
Okay, Kalani, when you walk over to Jaina, you see that she's just like kneeling down, and the mechanics who like are occasionally walking through the path where she is just sort of like give her a wide berth and they just walk around her, since she's like literally kneeling like in the middle of the room, right in the middle of an intersection of two corridors. Well, not really corridors, but they're open walking paths between the different equipment.
Hmm. Should I join her or should I ask why she's choosing the spot?
Can't hurt to join her. Maybe you'll get a buff.
Yeah, joining her would be wise to get a buff. Maybe you can help use with the force rolls.
Also, I would take a look at what Kylar said in the TeamSpeak chat. That at this point can't hurt to look for something like that.
Wasn't that one of the things we were doing?
I was gonna in character suggest that.
Yeah,
Soonish.
because let it be in character. Come on.
I mean, to be fair, Aeland might just have thought of it on his own, or John, or somebody else.
I think most of us are thinking about this.
I don't know. I'm probably gonna join her and try again to feel the dark side in general around the ship.
to re-roll?
Better.
Okay, so let us go back to the computer room where Aland received that info from Kaz.
So I didn't sense anything with that.
You're
He's-
continuing an ongoing meditation. We'll get back to you.
Yeah, basically he said, I'm not telling you the results right now. You'll have to wait. Alright, let's see what we can do with this information. See if we can't figure out what's going on. Why what power fluctuations and whatnot are occurring in these situations. Yeah, that would be a good thing. What would it take, or how long would it take for a take 20?